right, beautiful. Okay, so that helps me a lot. So, all right, so back to business. Can you hear me and okay, everything is good on your end?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, great. So let's continue. So you were starting to ask about generally stating that it's nice to have a new album out.
Oh yeah, I mean, with the climate we're currently in 2020, we just need some good, hard-hitting rock music, and that's what you guys absolutely delivered with War for the World. I mean, from start to finish, it just feels like an absolutely solid album, and I'm glad to see that it was able to come out.
Yeah, me too. And it's a record that I have been working on for the last 2 years. We had done a re-release of the first album in, I don't know, I'm thinking it was 2015, so it's like 5 years ago. And then a couple of years ago, we played at the Melodic Rock Festival, and based on the strength of that, the fans were just, they loved us, and there was a lot of course, a lot of people know me from White Cross, and people just wanted to see the band coming back together. So we kind of looked at each other and said, well, this should be pretty easy to do. And I was thinking it would be a 6-month project. And of course, like everything else that I do, ended up taking 2 years to do a 6-month project. But along the way, we got in with Dark Star Records, and that has been like an amazing story as well. And so the record got finished and started making plans to put it out. And then, of course, COVID came along, and that's put the damper on everybody. So here we are, and the record is out, and I love how people are responding to it.
Oh, I am as well too. I'm glad to see that I'm not alone in thinking that this is a great record, and just it's so great. Like I said, because of everything that's going on with COVID right now, and just 2020 in general, I just wanted some good, hard-hitting rock and roll like this, and you guys delivered on that. I mean, whether you're doing like those great faster songs, mid-tempo songs, or when you got an acoustic ballad that's going on, I mean, every song feels like it's meant to be on the record, and yeah, it's a great ebb and flow album that really needed to come out.
Well, thank you so much. And it's hey, let's face it, it's an 80s rock extravaganza. I'm not really trying to chase like the new modern rock sound. I'm not sure that I even know what that is. I just know the kind of music that I like, and of course we got devastating news yesterday about Eddie Van Halen, so God rest his soul. And that's going to leave a huge void. And in our own small way, bands such as Fierce Heart can maybe kind of carry on that legacy a little bit, because we were all influenced by the Van Halen sound. So, certainly if you listen to the album, you'll hear it in my phone, right away, right very first track, In the Sun. It's got a huge Van Halen influence, and I don't mind people get the idea that I'm wearing my Eddie Van Halen fanboy. I'm wearing it right out in the open. So, and that was even before. So it's really sad that he's gone. So the rest of us will just have to carry on, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny how that turned out yesterday as well too, because I actually did an interview right before the news came out about Eddie Van Halen, and we were actually discussing Eddie Van Halen, and we were talking about how he and Alex actually traded instruments when they originally started, and talking about finding the right instrument that's going to be right for you, and obviously they made the right choice when it came to Van Halen. And then immediately when I was done, I saw the news, and just it was absolutely uncanny that it happened at that time. And just seeing everybody reacting to that, reacting to the news. I mean, the world of rock is never going to be the same without Eddie here.
No, there's so many people that have gone away, from Neil Peart to Eddie Van Halen, and it just doesn't seem like that long ago since Ronnie Dio passed away, and Lemmy, and Jimmy Bain passed away, the bass player. It's just sad. It's really sad. Life is short.
Oh, it truly is, and that's all the more reason why I do appreciate music whenever it does come out, because there are so many variables that can happen from a release not happening, or bands feuding with each other, or personal health reasons or mental reasons. There's so many things that can happen, but when an album actually comes out and it's the way that they want it to be, there's no greater feeling than that. And I can imagine that accomplishment coming out as well for you too. I mean, originally wanting this to be 6 months, but it did take 2 years. I still imagine when you go back and listen to the album, you got to be proud of yourself that with the fact that it did come out the way that it has.
I could not be more proud. I love the record. I love the band. I love Robert Reynolds on the vocals, and I love what Antonio, the bass player, and Nick, the drummer, I love what they have done. And it's so much fun to get good players together and an awesome singer like we have with Bob and be able to do that. And, and then I'm like in there every night trying to crank out the solos. And it's just so much fun.
Oh, and that's the main reason to keep playing music is just the joy and fun that you do have with it. I mean, whether you're writing everything yourself or you find the right group of musicians to be able to jam with and write music with, I mean, it's such a great rewarding feeling when you can get together and you get a song and then you get a couple songs and then you have another album's worth of material. I mean, especially after all this time that's happened. I mean, being able to see this album come out in 2020 with the reception that it's getting, I mean, it's such a different world now than it was in '86 when you were joining up with White Cross. And, just thinking about that as well, too, thinking about how the times have changed when you were focusing on Fierce Heart and now getting back into Fierce Heart. I mean, the music world has really changed.
Oh, yeah. So I'll tell you a little story about this album. The anomalies of Fierce Heart in ways were different from most bands, but our timeline is so skewed. We came together in 1984. We put out a record on Atlantic in 1985. That was our big major label thing. And in 1986, Robert Reynolds came into the band to be the singer, and we made new demos to get re-signed by the label so they would pick up our option for our second record, but they declined for whatever their reasons are. And 3 of the songs on War for the World actually started off as demos. They were written by Robert and myself back in 1986. And that's Bad Child, Hard Rock, and Lost Inside Your Love, the power ballad. So we had written those songs back then, and the label elected not to do it, and they had their reasons, but, Atlantic is, the Mirage record label that had our record, they're long gone, and we're still around as a band. So, so they do what they did, and we're still together, and I'm glad now that we have the chance to put out these songs, some other great songs. And of course, there's new songs as well. So we had those songs that had been unreleased. We wrote new songs. I had one song that I had written. Bob also had one song that he auditioned for me, and I heard it and I loved it, and that's Road to Nowhere, which is the last song of the album. And so that's, we had more than enough songs to choose from. So the 10 songs plus the guitar solo that made the album, I feel really great about it.
Oh, yeah. And, just that great feeling of being able to, write new material together, knowing that it's still going to work for Fierce Heart, the other guys in the band being able to help with that as well, too. And, the fact that you were able to use demos that were written all the way back in '86. I mean, had you not told me what songs they were when I listened to the album, I would not have guessed anything was already from back in that time frame, because all of these songs together just feel so natural together. I would have guessed they were all written in the same time frame.
Yeah, it's like in one sense of the word, it feels like a throwback album. Got that '80s rock band kind of thing, like the LA rock band sound of Van Halen, Motley Crue, Rat, stuff like that. And then on the other hand, the feel and the production and everything is definitely more like what's happening right now. Technology's always getting better. So, like, if this album had come out back then, it would mind more. But as it stands, it's a phenomenal sounding record. So I couldn't be happier with it. And it's, I just love that '80s classic rock, melodic hard rock. If you would have heard Whitesnake in the 1980s, you would have said, "Oh, that's a heavy metal band." But hear Whitesnake on the radio nowadays, you go, "Oh, that's like classic rock." Whether there's ageism implied in that or not, like, "Oh yeah, that's like my dad," whatever, because the kids are listening to something new. I have no idea what rock bands are that are popular these days, and so I just like the music that I do, and this is what we do, and it's kind of who we are. So, but apparently there's a whole bunch of people that like it because the record is doing great.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I've seen things online, I mean, it's people of all ages being able to appreciate this. And, even with it being very much in that 80s style, that a great melodic rock, heavy metal style, it is something that I've always loved. And I love it when a band is able to show all these different sides, whether it's more acoustic ballads, whether it's heavy hitting songs, whether it's songs that are just meant to be radio singles. I mean, everything on here just like it feels so natural from you guys, and the fact that people all around the world are enjoying this so much, and the physical release of the album being sold out as well too. I mean, that was incredible to be able to see that.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I'm like sitting in the corner with my eyes glazed over. The world is coming out. I'm just like, whoa, I mean, I can't, I don't want to be overly immodest, and I don't want to be arrogant. I just because when I heard the album, it's like, all right, like I know this is really it's a fantastic sounding album. I know it sounds great, and you don't have to tell me that it sounds great. I mean, I can hear it for myself there, and so I was hopeful that just if people could have a chance to give it a listen and discover the album, that they'll like it. But you never know if you're going to get that chance to be discovered by your audience. And that's what we're trying to do, is just grow the audience and make connections with people and try to get people to discover the album so that they can come to their own opinions about it. But people are responding; they're buying it. They sold out of the first pressing. I also knew that we've got a pretty good sized healthy fan base from all of our wonderful White Cross friends, and a lot of those people have purchased the album, so it's off to a good start. And now it's at the point that, well, if the album's any good, then it has to eventually it has to be word of mouth. It's like the record company can advertise it, but at some point it's up to the people to decide if it's something that they like. So that's all you can do. I've seen it from both sides. I put out records that nobody cared, and then we put out when we put out the first White Cross album, it was like, whoa, it's just like it was this total word of mouth, and it sold like crazy. So I hope that that's what I'm seeing with Fierce Heart album. So time will tell.
At least from my perspective, that's absolutely the way I'm seeing it. From people recommending music to seeing things digitally, seeing songs coming up, and related bands when it comes to that. And of course, just the basic word of mouth is still important. And, I've discovered so many of my favorite bands, not from just promotion and advertising and seeing music videos, but from actually being able to talk to people, talk to other bands, and, really get to dive deep into who they are before I even check them out to see if I'm going to be interested in them or not. I think that's still a great way to be able to do it. And, again, with the music industry ever evolving, that word of mouth is still important.
Yeah, it's totally important.
Oh, for sure.
And it's really, it's like at some point that the fans decide which groups they want, and it's up to the fans. And you have your responsibility is to put out the best music you can, and don't leave any stone unturned. And if you're happy with what you put out, then chances are there's an audience out there. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and that's such an important way to be able to look at it as well too. I mean, having your heart and soul behind the music that you're making, and being happy with the final product at the end. And yeah, just like you said, if you're happy with the way the album turned out, there's bound to be others that are going to be very interested and happy with the album as well, as long as they get the opportunity to be able to check it out. And yeah, I mean,
right.
That is one of the upsides to what's going on in 2020 with COVID in the world, is a lot of people have been having to stay home this year, and a lot of people are checking out music, and that's such a great thing to be able to see a bunch of different bands being able to get discovered just because people have more time to be able to sit down and listen to music this year. And yeah, when I was looking things up, that's what I saw a lot of people saying, was they were able to sit down, check out music, see recommended bands, and seeing Fierce Heart coming up on there. And yeah, I just love it when people actually do take the time to be able to appreciate music, because it's still here, and it's still here for a reason.
Yeah, Well, so here we are, and I don't know what else I could say about it other than that. Like, we feel great about it. People that have purchased the album so far, there's a lot of great reviews coming back on it, from fan reviews, reviews from the magazines and so forth. There's a lot of great comments that I've seen. So, got to be very happy about all of that.
Oh, very much so. And hopefully in 2021, if the world can get back to some kind of normalcy, being able to hear these songs in a live setting would just be incredible. I mean, be it the festival date, be it a local show, whatever the case is, because this album feels like it'd be so incredible to be able to hear in a live setting, and I hope that you guys get that opportunity to be able to play songs off this album live coming up.
Oh yeah, that's definitely part of the plan. We have an agent, and we've talked about a lot of things, and he's a little frustrated just because he's got like a list of dates that we do, but until a lot of venues and events and things are reluctant to commit to anything until they feel that I don't know, once we're past the COVID, I guess. I really don't know, but so we kind of have to wait to maybe it's probably in 2021 there's going to be more concerts, getting back to concerts and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
Oh yeah, and with a band like Fierce Heart, I mean, when people do have the opportunity to be able to check out the band live, and especially with the newfound audience being able to check out the band after all this time, I just imagine when the floodgates do eventually open and festivals are able to open up, shows and venues are able to put out shows that they feel comfortable with doing, and when you get out there, I just know it's going to be an incredible night for the fans and for you guys as well too, because so much of being a musician it's great being able to write music, but it's so great to be able to play in that live setting as well.
Yes, very much. And we are a live band. And like I said, when we played at the Melodic Rock Festival, the response from fans was so overwhelming that is really what kind of triggered us to, like, hey, we need to, the people really like this. So, as a musician, you're always looking for your next band project to get on. And so we just figured, this is what people want, so this is what we should do. And it's really that simple. A lot of times you don't need to overthink things. Like, this is what people want, so give them what they want. And we like it, so, there it is.
Yeah, and you couldn't ask for anything more, too. I mean, especially in a year like this, I mean, with fans being able to enjoy the music so much, previously being able to see you at the Melodic Rock Festival and being able to win over the crowd again, and then everything that would be coming up in the future when it comes to live shows again. I mean, it's great to see everything that is going on in the world of Fierce Heart with the new album and, War for the World, getting the physical editions actually sold out in department stores and other places is just incredible to see. And just seeing this life of Fierce Heart happening again, it's such a great, heartwarming thing to be able to see, and you guys absolutely deserve that as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't know how to respond to that, but that's really wonderful. And that's what a lot of people have said. It's like they're excited about the band and they're ready to see it and they're ready to come out again. And people love to go to their live shows, and that's what we want to do, is get out and make live shows for people. So.
Oh, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I actually think that's a great note to be able to end on too. With such a great record with War for the World available now, and the physical editions being able to come back soon, it's definitely a great thing to be able to check out. And I thank you again for taking the time to be able to talk to me about everything that's going on with Fierce Heart. This is such a great album from start to finish. I can't wait to see live shows coming back and you guys being able to play some great festival shows again. And it was just great being able to talk to you.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. It's great to be here with you, and best of luck on the show, and I love it.